Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxy.
Yes. What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. I'm your host, Mark Roxy, and I am here with my partner in crime, Mr. Harold Hunt. What's up, Harold?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing this evening? Man, we got a lot to talk about. Hey, I'm rocking the WBA right here.
Yeah, I see that.
They had nothing to do with the fight, but they're a sanctioning body who is trying to get some fights together, and I have to give them their love for that.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And now it's great to see you, Harold, and it's great to be with everyone listening in tonight. And if you are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast, we really appreciate you being with us tonight, and we thank you. And if you are following us on YouTube, we appreciate you. You are welcome to join in on the conversation. You are welcome to leave your comments or just drop them right now, and we will post them online. And here I go. I'm going to illuminate the comments right there. So come on in if you are listening, and we're delighted that you're with us. And today we are going to talk about tomorrow night's epic, my friends, epic battle between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. It is happening. It is official. The weigh-ins went down. The fighters clashed at the weigh-in. And we got to fight, people. We got a fight. Hello. It is exciting to know that the fight is happening. So without further ado, Harold, tell me what you got.
Well, just to be excited as you are, it's going to be a good fight. Only because right now you've got everybody is anxious. We haven't had this kind of hype since the Floyd fight. I mean, there's 5-year-old kids asking their parents about the fight. They're 5 years of age, and they're tuned into this fight. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then you've got so many different sects of the country. People having fight parties that they haven't had since Floyd had a fight with McGregor. Yeah. There hasn't been fight parties of that kind of magnitude where everyone's coming who don't really know anything about boxing, but they know about this fight. And that is an atmosphere that I love to see. Now, as far as the actual fighters are concerned, their animosity seems to be pretty genuine. However, it seems that there's some gamesmanship going on. And that's with the weigh-in, as you know, Mark, that's going to take place at an unspecified hour, which is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is incredible, Harold. It is. And so, you know, both of these guys weighed in. They both cleared the 136 mark. And so we got to fight, man. I am so pumped up. Who you got, Harold?
Well, first of all, that weigh-in was not official. No, that is just posturing. The official weigh-in is tomorrow.
Yes.
Because Tank has to make the weight and Ryan has to make the weight. If there's any clauses enforced, it'll be there at this time.
Yeah.
This thing we saw earlier, that was just posturing. That's not the other ones are real.
Yeah.
The real ones tomorrow. Now, what's crazy about is the time frame, Mark, that's going to take place. Yeah. And we discussed this in our last episode about what time that weigh-in should be, and you speculated. Mark, you are off, way off.
How so? Do tell.
Noon. They're going to do it after the body wakes up, absorbs its first liquid of the day, or retains liquid because there's no food,
Right.
and do a weigh-in at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
So it's like it's early afternoon. So how was I off? If it's early afternoon, how was I off? I
Did
mean,
you say in the morning?
no, I said I didn't know what they were going to do. I said,
okay.
if you recall, you guys folks go back and listen to the podcast. What I said was, if they have the weigh-in early in the morning, right? It's really, we were talking about this in relationship to the rehydration and how much bigger the two fighters would get after the rehydration. And the conversation went kind of like this, that if, Ryan Garcia weighs in early in the morning, he can still gain 10 or 15 pounds. But the conversation went, well, will they have a 10-pound maximum weight gain on the other end of that? That was the discussion of whether or not there's a 10-pound, whether or not they're going to be able to just gain weight, or whether or not there's a cap on how much weight they can gain. And that's, obviously contractual. But the issue
talk about when it would take place, how the body would react at that time.
Well, right, because the longer the weigh-in waits, like if you've ever been to a weigh-in, and I've been to a lot of weigh-ins, I've had fighters, like, come on. You say, coach, come on. Like, what is going on? Like, the inspectors show up late. The commissioner shows up late. Everybody shows up late.
Hey, I've been guilty of on that side, because I've been a commissioner and an inspector at weigh-ins late or early, or there's traffic, or there's a snowstorm up on the east side, up in Philly. You could have a fight and there'd be a snowstorm, and guess what? You got a little bit of an issue because you thought the weigh-in was going to be at noontime, and the weigh-in doesn't happen until 5 o'clock, right? For a whole host of reasons. And I've seen 3-4 hours after the scheduled weigh-in for the weigh-in to happen. So fighters, man, the note to self, you never know. Like, you just have to have a command over your body and over, the weigh-ins, and make sure you're fighting the correct weight classes. Because, if you're worrying about whether or not you're going to have a meal at 10 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when you have millions of dollars on the line, maybe you're in the wrong business. I don't know. I'm just saying, like you have to, you eat when you eat, and this is fight time. Oh yeah, I understand that point. It is, to me, a factor in the time they're going to put them on the scale.
Right.
Yes, they're not going to eat. It's still good drama. And we didn't know how it was going to be until now. Supposedly it was afternoon or late afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting afternoon. Late afternoon is too close to fight time. First fight starts around 6. They probably won't get into a ring till what, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't see it much before, midnight. I really don't. Sometimes these things go even longer, but the fight is scheduled to what time is it? Isn't it 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time?
Well, I think but prelims start at 6 something. That's 3 out west and a standard time 6, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I understood that the fight itself is actually going to happen at the fight started at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's going to put them on somewhere around midnight.
Is that the TV fights? Well, not the TV fights. They're all going to be broadcast, I believe. Yeah. But Showtime's doing a piece also, so they may just run their 8 o'clock with the TV fights, whereas the Zone may run all the fights starting at 6.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, according to sources, and if you go online and you look at the fight is starting April 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So DAZN pay-per-view, Showtime pay-per-view. Both of them are doing their own pay-per-views, and they're both starting at 8 p.m. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting, to see
That's
how
late.
this. Well,
Boy,
it
that's
is.
late.
Yeah, but I mean, think about all the bars and all the clubs and all the people that are going to be streaming this fight.
You're right.
They got from 8 o'clock to 11:45
to get there. Yes.
Yeah, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Get yourself over there. You might be able to get a scalped ticket for $50,000 or something like that. But I would definitely head on over there and see what you can,
Well, it's closed circuit all over Vegas.
Is it?
It's $150 closed circuit all over Vegas. So if you want to at least be with fight fans, you can do that for sure. So if you are in Vegas, or you're going to Vegas, or you're going to hop something and go to Vegas at the last minute, however you see this, there will be plenty of venues for you to watch the fight. Truly, truly, and you get to taste the atmosphere.
Yeah, man, I'm just so pumped up about this fight. So, how do you think the fight's going to go, Harold? Do you want to discuss a little bit about how you think the fight's going to go?
Well, I'm still hinged on the rehydration. What the weight will be, when it's said and done. Then I can speculate clearly in my mind, but I can give you a preliminary type offering. I watched a lot of stuff of Ryan's left hook, and he delivers it. And then I watched some stuff of Tank taking a left hook. Barrios hit him with some left hooks. Some other people hit him with some left hooks, and they were kind of clean, and they got to the point, and they weren't frequent, but they got there. So it begs me to differ to think that maybe he'll get hit with that, but he has his own hook, a back left hook that he delivers.
Oh yeah,
and Ryan has to be wary of that. We haven't talked about that kind of thing, and some of the pundits and some of the people who are close to boxing are saying, forget the left hand, you got to look out for Ryan's straight right. So there's so many schools of thought, but mine basically is, we have to see, if Ryan can carry his weight and not tire out at the end, because this fight could easily be a stinker where no one wants to engage. And if someone tries to engage, the effort to get away from that and not step to it, it will be enhanced by either side.
Yeah.
So that is a distinct possibility. That's just, how I'm looking at it. It's a distinct possibility. But if you want me to pick someone who I think we're going to win, just arbitrarily, I have to say Tank will, because I've seen him with boxers. Now, Tank's reach is only 1 inch shorter than Ryan's, so people thought that was a big situation, but it's not. That's doable with any bout. So that's who I see, Mark. What's your feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of feelings about this fight. I have a lot of thoughts, and I've been breaking this fight down we've been breaking this fight down on the podcast for a couple of weeks. I go into the gym, everybody's, cornering me. Hey, so what do you think? Who do you got? Who do you think's going to win? Tell me, what's your prediction? So it's constant. It's all I've been talking about is this fight. And as I'm talking about the fight, and as I'm analyzing it with other fighters and trainers, and, kind of this is where I've arrived. I've arrived like this. This is my analysis of the fight. I think that Ryan Garcia has an amazing left hook. Speedy, fast, able to connect, able to do damage with it. He's got a lot of knockouts off of that left hook. I think early on in the fight, if Ryan Garcia can manage to keep the distance, manage the proper distance in the fight, have Tank make a mistake, it's very possible that Ryan Garcia can catch him early in the fight. Excuse me. I think as the fight goes on, what you have is you have a scenario that could play out where Ryan gets a little tired. His punches start to lose the pop and the effectiveness. he starts to get cornered and he starts to pull out high. And if he does that, and Tank Davis and his team are able to control the distance and have this fight take place closer, Tank Davis has a great possibility of getting a stoppage both early or later. I think that my prediction is that it's probably going to happen somewhere between 8 and 12. And it's going to be a late stoppage for, if it's going to be on Tank's side, then it'll be a late stoppage. And it will be because Goosen and the team, Ryan Garcia's team, did not prepare to deal with those late rounds properly. If
You sound biased.
No. It's not bias. I'm analyzing the fight. I'm analyzing the fight on both sides. There's no bias.
Properly is directed toward his training technique by Goosen. Properly.
Well,
Who
yeah,
are you to
because
say properly?
Properly is this. Properly is this. Okay, that's not what properly means. Properly means that he's able to maintain the distance. Ryan Garcia's way to victory is to keep the distance long and to keep the fight long. And in order to keep the fight long properly with a fighter who's a puncher, who's coming to you with a high guard, he's a smaller fighter, meaning Tank Davis is a smaller fighter in height, but he likes to fight close. And we have a word for what that is, which I will not share because I only share it with my fighters. But he fights close. And when he fights close, for those of you listening, he's most effective off the high guard. If Ryan Garcia makes a mistake and starts to shoot to the body in that range, what's going to happen is he's going to lose that fight with Tank Davis. So going to the body is something that I would not recommend against Tank Davis when the fight is close, when they're distance-wise, they're fighting close. And so when I say properly, what I'm really referring to is the distance in which he needs to fight the entire fight. If he allows this fight to get close, where they're fighting in a phone booth against the ropes, with Ryan Garcia's back against the ropes, Ryan Garcia will go to sleep there. Okay, that's just the way it's going to be. And so there's no bias about the fight. I'm saying that this fight is truly a 50-50 fight. This is not one of those 60-40 fights. This is a 50-50 fight. Ryan Garcia is a skillful fighter. Tank Davis is a skillful fighter. And they both have a great chance of winning this fight. But what it comes down to is who conducts themselves in the fight and what team manages the fight properly. That's what I'm saying when I use the word properly, Harold.
Okay, when I think of properly, who's administrating this technique? Who is finding and laying out this technique or this usage of strategy?
I think they've already won the fight, Harold.
The trainer. So that is, his ideal is to administer this particular game plan that he wants his fighter to do. Yeah. Okay, it's his game plan. So when you say properly, to me, you're saying, hey, he got his instructions, but the instructions were not proper. That's how not proper for the situation. That's how I see it. Now, as far as Tank getting inside and winning the fight in that way, Ryan is going to show some fatigue. He will be on the ropes at some point. He will be. And he will go to his natural thing of pulling straight back and this and that and the other.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for him.
Yes. And he likes to throw that left hook to the body, which would put him in range with Tank to get hit. So, that is all there. It's just that whose wheelhouse will be the last wheelhouse entered into. It will be Tank's, his wheelhouse, not Ryan. Now, as you said, Ryan can stay outside the whole fight. He has to be disciplined and properly work the fight. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah,
and I don't see it.
And
I don't see him catching him with a wicked left hook. I see opening for the right hand because that's going to be looked at constantly. And as Tank is looking for that left hand, that that whip it type thing that comes out defensively and offensively, whenever he's flustered, he throws that left hand with just like swatting a fly. It comes from everywhere, anywhere, all the time. It's strictly defensive and sometimes offensive. They'll be looking for that. And I think that right hand from Ryan can drop. That's just how I see it.
I think both of Ryan's hands can drop. I mean, if you watch his fights, some of his fights, his hands are completely down. They're like at his shoulders. And so now the question about that is like, did Goosen work on that? Did they fix that defensive liability? Because Ryan Garcia has managed for quite a long time using his advantages, his height, his reach, his quick, fast speed, his ability to kind of get things done pretty quickly against lesser opponents that are not Tank Davis. And I think you're right. This is going to be a serious test for Ryan Garcia. And it's also Tank Davis, Tank has defensive liabilities as well. He also has punched. This is from Coach Dwayne, Coach D, if you're listening, we had this conversation this morning. Coach Dwayne and I were talking about the fight, and Coach Dwayne said, listen, Coach, the thing about this is Tank Davis's punch count is not high. He does not have a high punch count. And I have to agree with Coach D. He doesn't have a high punch count. And I think that depending upon how he, again, conducts himself in this fight will determine whether or not having a low punch count is to his detriment. I think the low punch count is because he's putting lots of power behind his punch. But the other thing about the low punch count, right, is if you go back to the Mario Barrios fight, if you go back to any of his previous fights, even the Rolly Ramiro fight, that fight, he was behind. I was in the arena for that fight, and he was behind up until the fourth round. Like, he was not winning the fight. Mario Barrios fight, he was not winning the fight. What's the other guy? What's his name? The Mexican kid he fought.
Gonzalez. Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia.
I was there for that, but I was there for that fight. I saw a different situation along with the fight with when he was here in Atlanta. But please go.
No, I was going to say with Pitbull, the fight with Pitbull. With Cruz, there were some weak moments in those fights. You go back to those fights and you study the film of those fights, you can see that Tank's got to have a quick start here. He really does, Harold. Like, if he doesn't have a quick start, he is going to find himself, by the time he gets to the fifth round, he's going to find himself behind on scorecards if he doesn't come out and start quick. That's what's going to happen, because if the past is any indication of the future, which it's not, but to some extent, if he does not, meaning Tank Davis, have a quick start early on, he's going to be dealing with two issues. One, the issue of being behind on the scorecards. Two, the issue of having to take chances in the fight. And I think this is real. If he has to take chances in that fight, he can walk into one of those shots that, we've been talking about. Okay, now one of the shots is not going to drop him. It's not. And Ryan Garcia still has the same kind of situations that we saw Ali with and we saw Roy Jones with, right, where their talent and their technique did not match up, pulling straight back, right, all of that. Both Ali but we saw how that type of thing manifested as they lost their youth or what have you. Right.
Okay. Ryan has
Good
the same
point.
thing, but it won't be his youth as below. It'll be that he may be drained or not in the proper shape because of all the other stuff's going on that may
Yeah.
cause him to put himself in a situation. If he's in pristine shape, I believe he can keep that discipline and
Yeah.
stay outside and not resort to stepping in with Tank. I really do. But I think he's going to be a situation where he's going to have to engage with him. As the fight goes on, everyone's going to get hit. All the punches that everyone said, well, if he can take it, they will land. We have to see how that's going to happen. But what I'm saying is, I definitely believe if he was in the kind of shape that he should be or whatever, he can sustain that and be disciplined mentally. Because if he steps out of it mentally, he can be taken out. Now, I don't see Tank getting hit with something and dropping like a sack of potatoes. I don't see that. I don't see.
He's too tough. I mean, he's a tough.
I don't see that.
He's a tough fighter.
So he may get hit with that, but he's just not going to drop. But he'll drop Ryan. He'll drop Ryan like a sack of potatoes if he hits him.
Yeah. Well,
that's the difference. So we have to see how Tank is going to, he's going to get hit with all that stuff you're talking about. He's going to get hit with it. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both, listen, that's why I said, anybody who thinks they got this fight pegged out doesn't. I think the money is on Ryan. I mean, if you're interested in making a bet, I think you got to bet Ryan, because the reason you got to bet Ryan is because the odds are not, I mean, everybody, I mean, I know my thing is, I think that Tank should win. Okay. But if you're going to make a bet, you have to bet on Ryan, because that's where the odds are, unless you want to bet on the guy that you think is going to win.
I mean, that's fiscally responsible if you're going to bet. That doesn't bear here. That doesn't bear here.
No,
what bears here is that the narrative has been skewed toward Ryan, changing all of the betting lines and all of that.
I don't think in my world, in the boxing world, okay, in the gym world, you got 99% of the people are like saying Tank's going to smoke him. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm in the boxing gym every day, and I hear fighters, and we're all chopping this up every day. I mean, there's no question in my mind. Who do I think has the biggest dynamite? Who can get the job done? I'm going with the Baltimore boy. I mean, I got to go with the Baltimore boy. But I'm just, what I'm doing for the fans and the listeners, this is a documentation of what I think is going to happen. You hear it. So you can come back and listen to the Boxing Breakdown, listen to Harold Hunt and Mark Roxy talk about this fight. This is our predictions here for what we think is going to happen. And you're going to go and you're going to see what's going to happen. And then I haven't predicted.
I didn't say who was going to win. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I mean, you can hear in my voice what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I gave scenarios, and that's what I did. So, because I still need some information. Now, I don't travel in your world, and your world is extremely valid, no doubt about it. But I still got my little world and the things that I think about and see and talk to other people.
Super valuable.
And what I'm saying is, I am tasting the narrative out in the street, out with the casuals, if you want to call them that. No disrespect. That's what I see, and that's what I hear, and I talk to other judges. So we all have kind of a thing where yours is definitely more inclusive and more factual than what I see on the outside. But the bottom line is, we still believe, as your gym and all the boxing people that you work with day after day after day after day, year after year, they feel like Tank has it. I'm just saying, I believe that if Tank gets into what he does, I don't believe Ryan can necessarily stand up to it unless he's disciplined, as you said. So I am on the fence.
Yeah,
with the fence post sticking up my butt, because I haven't gone one way or the
other. And welcome to the other 50% of the people, because I'm telling you, this is a 50-50 fight. 50% of the people are going with Ryan, and 50% of the people are going with Gervonta Tank Davis. I will tell you this, folks.
Not in the gym. Not in the gym.
No, not in the gym.
they're not doing that. And see, and that is the narrative that needs to take place. But the public won't accept that.
No, I mean, you can't. First of all, these guys are doing a phenomenal job at promoting this fight. They really are, Harold. I mean, who's going to promote a fight where it's a shoo-in? Nobody in the media is going to talk about boxing like we're talking. I'm basically giving you both sides of the fence. I'm showing you what could happen if Ryan executes properly and what happens if, as a coach, as a strategist, and what happens if Tank Davis executes properly. Okay? Now, if this fight gets in a situation where there's questions being asked of both men, I got to go with Tank. You know, if there are questions being answered in the pocket between both men, back and forth, I'm going to say that I think that Tank has the dog in him. There's no question about that. Now, Ryan, he's been boxing since he's, I think, 6 years old, something like that. Ryan Garcia is a dog too. He's just a different kind of dog. He's just a different make, a different breed of dog. But he's still got it in him. That's what makes this fight so phenomenal. And I'm hoping it goes to the 11th round. I don't care who gets smoked. I'm interested in this fight going as long as possible so we can enjoy some real boxing, because this is going to be an amazing night of fights. And actually, Harold, you know, for those of you tuning in, check it out. You know, Davis and Garcia, Davis versus Garcia is promoted by GTD Promotions and TGB Promotions and Golden Boy Promotions. And the telecast is produced by Showtime, pay-per-view, and the tickets for, and DAZN. And the tickets for the live event are on sale now. You can get your tickets, right? And they're available, I guess, at www.axs.com. Don't know where that's going to send you. Cannot validate that website, but go and check it out and see what you got. Davis will headline this pay-per-view telecast beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock p.m. As he faces Garcia in a rare matchup of unbeaten superstars in their primes. Both of them are in the primes of their career, and Davis has established himself as one of the boxing's hottest must-see attractions, selling out arenas in Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, and most recently
DC.
Washington, D.C., and you know all about that one. And with a victory on April 22nd, he can solidify himself as the future face of boxing. Literally.
And no belt is up. So that bears the narrative that belts, are they really, really what they need to be? If a fight of this magnitude with no belt garners this type of attention, I just had to throw that in there.
No, I think you bring up a great point. I mean, it's magnificent. I mean, but this is look, I'm going to tell, like, all the promoters that are listening to the Boxing Breakdown right now, all of you guys that are tuning in, here's what I'm going to say to you. Fans want good entertainment. They want good boxing matches. They want competitive matches. They want the matches that nobody wants to make. Those are the matches that they want. That's why they'll go out and see, what's this guy? The YouTube guy.
Jake Paul.
That's why they'll go see Jake Paul face off against, whoever, because they want to see shock and awe. They want to see amazing fights. And this fight has been on the block for 4 years. We've been chopping. Go back and listen to the previous episodes of the Boxing Breakdown or the YouTube videos, and you'll see that we've been chopping this fight up forever. All of them. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko. All of them have been in the loop. We've been talking about these guys forever. And here's the thing. Saturday, April 22nd, it's going down, right? I guess the main event ring walk should be approximately 11 o'clock p.m., 4 o'clock a.m. BST. I don't know what that is. 5 o'clock a.m. CET time. Darn, this thing is going around the world. The card will be streamed live on DAZN pay-per-view in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Right? The fight will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, as I said at the top of the show. The card will also stream live as part of your DAZN subscription if you're in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Denmark, Finland, Norway. Come on, listen, guys. Sweden, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Bulgaria, Netherlands, Portugal, or Belgium, but not in the U.S.
It's $60 for us, and Showtime is $85. But you get two commentary styles. Some people like the Showtime. Some people like it the DAZN. So you can't hear the Showtime people if you get the DAZN at $60.
That's right. They're different commentary teams. That's right.
However, you pay $85 at Showtime, you may not get a replay.
Right.
Whereas the DAZN, you get your replay ad nauseum.
Right. Or you could tune into the Boxing Breakdown. If we go live tomorrow night while the fight's happening, you're going to get play-by-play from Harold and I. Maybe that could happen, Harold. Maybe we could do that. We could call it. Right?
Mark, you're gonna be in Vegas. You're gonna be in Vegas right there at ringside. Don't try to front. I know you're flying out. You're flying out tonight. You're trying to be all clandestine with us. I know you're going. You're going there.
Anyway, the main card is set to get underway at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 a.m. BST, 2 a.m. CET, with the main event ring walk scheduled for 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 a.m. Etc. All right, you guys know we already did this, so you guys know when the fight's happening. This thing is going down, and these guys were heated in their initial weigh-in, their mock weigh-in for the media and the press, and they both weighed in. They're already there in the weight, so that's nice. You know, they called it 135 even for both.
And Ryan doesn't look. He looks taut. He doesn't look drained.
Yeah,
he doesn't look drained. He looks like he doesn't
sharp.
look. He doesn't look bad, right? You agree with that?
No,
he doesn't look taunt, and he was licking his lips, so he had moisture. So
yeah. No, I think they both. I mean, I feel like they both are ready for this fight. You could feel the the energy is palpable. You can feel these two going at each other, and Tank Davis made a mistake in the weigh-in, and he pushed Ryan Garcia. He just put his hands on him, and you could see how that just kind of exploded. It just literally, there's so much tension around this fight that it just exploded. And what set that off is that I think Bernard Hopkins had some words with Gervonta Davis, like they were exchanging words because maybe, Hopkins touched him or something. I'm not really sure, but there were words exchanged and it was heated. And then he came back to Ryan Garcia. He was looking, kind of upstage, meaning upstage. If you don't know about theater, then you don't know about downstage and upstage. But it's upstage.
As I do.
Where Bernard Hopkins was standing, and he came back to Ryan Garcia and kind of fell in and put his hands on him, and he was like, and then they pushed each other, and the whole stage, about exploded. So, there's a lot of heat around this fight. I know, Baltimore will come out. DC will be out there. And then you got all those guys from out west that are going to be there. I just hope everybody behaves themselves at the fight. Yeah. And we can have a good world-class fight that takes place with nobody getting hurt, no fights in the arena, like all this business. Let's be good citizens of the boxing world. And if you have to throw a straight punch, put on the gloves.
True. The weigh-in and the press conferences was heated and that back and forth. But what it showed was the moxie and the wherewithal and the experience of the parties, not just the fighters, the trainers, Oscar, Leonard Ellaby, and everyone that was involved, and Bernard putting himself in the way to cause that stage to explode, by doing the talking, all of this is they performed also. All the parties involved, not just the fighters, but
Yeah.
all the parties involved, they mixed it up purposely. And it was of course I was looking for some pushing on stage. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course
of
I was
course.
looking for craziness and to happen at the press conference. Of course. You look for that thing because you know it's going to happen, but they are tasked to make sure it does happen. Hopkins wasn't necessarily trying to cause an issue. He just knew that element needed to be in that press conference. And what Oscar said at the press conference and the weigh-ins and this and that, those elements need to be there for a fight of this magnitude. Yeah. So, like I said, they're all upstage, Mark. They're all upstage. The curtain has drawn on all of them. Now the fighters have to follow suit, and they follow suit. Now they're not as disciplined mentally to not go too far with it because they're still young men and they're still ruled by their emotions. But everyone else around, the older fighters, the promoters, they know how far to go with it, what to do with it, and the type of thing. So it was just high drama all across the board for me. And if it was anything less, I would be disappointed because Bernard, you didn't play your role. LB, you didn't play your role. You guys did not play your role. You did not make the thing work the way it needed to work, and now it is. There's been crazy stuff. You know about the bet, right? The bet where I bet my entire, all of that.
Yeah, let's talk about that bet. Let's talk about that bet.
Yeah. Now, of course, that is great. Hey, a press agent couldn't have wrote that any better, and it just happened to happen like it did on this guy's social media thing, and he's very very prominent himself on his side, as a YouTuber. So all of that just added more fodder, and to the casual people, that is gospel. They believe that's going to happen, this, that, and the other, and we know differently, but it serves all the way down to that 5-year-old kid I spoke earlier to have understanding and information to actually ask about this fight. So it is really carrying. But yeah, you can talk about that. It was interesting the way it occurred.
Yeah. No, I mean, before I get to that, I just wanted to mention to those of you that are listening in, you can find us on Facebook at The Boxing Breakdown. And you can also find us on Instagram at The Boxing Breakdown and YouTube at The Boxing Breakdown. So check us out over there. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us in those different arenas. All of our broadcasts are being broadcast on Facebook at The Boxing Breakdown. So you can go over there and take a look at that. But we really, really are looking forward to building our boxing community. And these podcasts are so much fun for Harold and I. We really enjoy them. They're a passion project for both of us. And we just love talking about boxing. So thanks for being with us, man. And I mean, my thing is there are 11 fights on this card. Yes. There are 11 fights. There are some very interesting fights that will take place leading up to the main event with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Some of those fights that I think, there's one fight that I'm really interested in seeing, and that is the Gabriel Rosado fight. He's fighting a gentleman by the name of Bektemria Melakutselev. And 11-1 Melakutselev against Gabriel Rosado, who's 26-16. Man, Gabriel Rosado has had a phenomenal career. And even with his losses, the guy is just so entertaining. So it's great to see him. Shout out Philly. Gabe is from Philly. One of my dear friends, Billy Briscoe, is the ex-trainer of Gabe Rosado, Billy is an outstanding trainer, amazing trainer, brilliant man, great cut man, and he used to train Gabe Rosado. So shout out Billy Briscoe, you're the man. But it looks like a good round.
Undercard.
Yeah, it's a great undercard, but nothing's gonna contend or pale to the Gervonta Davis Ryan Garcia fight. Folks, you got to get out to see it. Get your ticket, Showtime, pay-per-view, whatever. Have your parties, man. This is good for boxing. It's good for you and I, Harold. and it's super exciting. And also, I just want to give a shout out to Q. Q, thank you for joining the Boxing Breakdown and being with us. Thanks for the little coach shout out. Appreciate that. If you got something you want to say, throw it in the comments, bro. Okay, we appreciate it.
Hey, Q.
Yeah, Q's there. Q's tuning in. Where is everybody? Where's all my fighters? Where are you guys? Get on here. But anyway, yeah, Harold, man, it's gonna be a barn burner. I will look forward to being with you tomorrow night on the broadcast to watch the fight.
You know something? That's a distinct possibility because I was going to do something with some other situations, but I'm thinking about setting up the monitors and getting all that together and letting everybody else stay where they're going to stay and kind of run through the fight with you. So that's a possibility. So we got to work that out off air. But hey, man, it is going to be a great evening. But I want to tell the listeners, the undercard is going to be spectacular. I mean, you've got guys who are getting some of the biggest paydays they've ever gotten. This is life-changing type money. And if they win, they'll have another opportunity at another really good payday. So not only is they're motivated because some of them have losses, of course, but they have opportunity because, as Mark said, they were exciting and they have opportunity. So you've got 11 great fights. So don't just ignore the other ones. They're all going to be great. No, they don't have the hype, but the skill set that you'll see between the two, even the undercard, Mark, is 50-50. There is no walkovers here, and that is great for our sport. Now this whole thing could actually have some impact on some of these other fighters who may want to fight each other, who are prominent and who the public's been asking to see. And if this does what it's supposed to do, if even the loser comes out on top as far as the media and the public sentiment and gave us a great fight, you may see, other fights. Now, there is another one on the horizon, which is just as spectacular. And I won't mention that here, but that's coming up, and that was a predecessor to this. I mean, that was done after this was announced. So we got so many fights that could happen, providing this does well. And there's no stark knockout. First round, third round, second round. As Mark said, 11 rounds of competitive action would be great to see. But it is setting a precedent for major fights, Mark. And this has been a great year going forward. And, there's some spectacular things in the heavyweight division that I won't mention here. And we just got so much going forward. So this is a predecessor to those things. So yes, I'm getting excited as I had been tempering myself down. But Mark, your arguments, I mean, your understanding of the situation has whetted my appetite, and I'm ready to go.
I'm so thank you for that. Thank you for that, Harold. And yeah, I'm ready to go to 13. Look, there are 22 fighters that are going to be fighting, including Vito Melnacki Jr. against Jose Sanchez Charles. Well, here's the good news about this fight, guys. Out of the 22 fighters that will be featured on, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, tomorrow night, 13 of them have losses on their record. So you're looking at a lot of fighters trying to get their get-backs. You're going to have a great night of boxing tomorrow night. I hope it doesn't let me down, and I hope it doesn't let you guys down. Man, it's going to be outstanding, and really.
Yes. The mindset of a fighter who has lost a few fights and have opportunities such as this, sometimes they are more focused, from my understanding, being at backstage or whatever with them back and forth over the years, they are more focused because this is another opportunity, and they've not lost, but they've been on the short end of a couple of them. But they have another opportunity on a stage like this. So you're going to, like Mark said, you're going to see all of it laid out. Sometimes undefeated fighters are tentative. They don't really fight as well as they should fight. Sometimes the opponent knows they're supposed to be knocked out and they won't fight as well as they need to fight. Right. That kind of thing can happen, but tomorrow night, it will be, as Mark said, fighters who are really hungry to get their get back. And as I said earlier, this is career paydays for most of them.
No doubt. And, as I said, it's going to be a 50-50 fight. You will not want to miss this fight. I'm certainly not going to miss it. And we're going to be chopping it up either tomorrow night or certainly Sunday night, Monday night. We're going to be on this thing.
Yeah, we got to do a hot one, Mark. We got to do a hot one.
Yeah, this is going to set up a lot of other fights. It's going to set a lot of things in motion. And we're going to talk about the things that we get set in motion based upon the outcome of this fight tomorrow night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss it. Harold, as always, thank you for being on the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Hit the subscribe. You know what to do. The notifications. Make sure you join us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all those good spots. And please, make it a safe one. We will see you on the next episode of the Boxing Breakdown. Peace and love. Till next time.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxy and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxy.